Let's double knit cables, brought to you by KB Looms. Welcome back to GoodKnit Kisses. I'm your host Kristen, and today's technique video is brought to you by KB Looms. We will be working on their rotating double knit loom, and we'll be making the cable stitch. Now you'll be working with an 8-row repeat, and this is a twist 1 and a twist 2. We'll be twisting to the left and twisting to the right over a series of 8 rounds. We'll be working on this hat here. It's called the Blue Reeds Cable Hat. It's got these beautiful cables working right and left, twisting up amid these rib stitches here. So what you're going to need is your rotating double knit loom. Your yarn is Peyton's Shetland Chunky in acrylic and wool. That 25% wool is critical. Being able to move your stitches over and twist the stitches, you are going to need a little bit of a stretch. And you will need your notions, which is a knit hook, a single hook, and a double loom hook is optional, but in this video I am showing it. So it comes in a set with a small one and a large one, and you'll need it. You'll also want to work with colored rubber bands or something to cover over stitches of a series of 8 stitches, and I will show you how that works, but you'll want to put that on your loom before we get started. All right, so let's begin looking at the stitch pattern here. This technique today is worked over 8 rounds, and we're working over here where it says hat design. Rounds 1 through 8 are this breakdown of 1 through 4. We're going to be working a twist 1, which twists to the left on the cables and work around. Then we're going to be working 3 rounds of rib stitch, and then we're going to twist it the opposite direction to the right and repeat. So that is what we're going to work on right now. Let's begin. To download your pattern, click on the link in the description below. All right, we want to set up with our stitch markers first before we begin. So we're going to grab our stitch markers and use the layout that's written in the pattern. We're going to skip the first 4 stitches, and be sure and put on a stitch marker or something, or note where this arrow is on your outer loom. Make sure that the inner loom also has that arrow lined up. We're going to skip the first 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and lay our, this is our stitch marker on the first one, and we're going to stretch and pull it over 8 stitches. So we got 4 all the way over to 8, and then just pop that in there, lay it down. Then we're going to skip over 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to lay in over 8 again, because these are our cables. We're going to have 2 sets of cables with each of these stitch markers. Now we're going to skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then put on our next stitch marker. We've got 4 and 8 across there, and then now we're going to skip 6 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then put our last stitch marker in, and we'll go all the way right up until before that first stitch marker for our beginning one. All right, so now it is set for the layouts for the cable twists, and we are going to cast on. Now, this video, I'm not going to show you how to cast on because we're going to concentrate on the actual cable. So if you want to know how to cast on, click on the upper right hand corner, this little icon with the eye on it, and it will lead you to the video to learn how to cast on in the main rib stitch pattern. All right, so when we meet back up, go do that, pause your video and meet me back up, and we will continue working the cable section. All right, so we're ready to begin a twisted stitch, a cable stitch. We're going to cable twist left. So our yarn is going to move to the left and cross over just like this. So we're going to cross to the left, and that is the twist number 1 on this pattern. Twist number 2 is it crosses over to the right and it twists. So it makes this back and forth twist here. All right, so what you need to know for this is the row before all that happens needs to be worked very loose, where you lay your yarn in nice and loose, especially if you're a tight knitter. You want to make sure that's loose, and then you want to hook over all the loops on the inner loom first and then the outer loom, and then that way all these outer stitches are going to be loose, because the very next row that you work, the very first row of a twisted row, you're going to be working with these 8 stitches in each section, so over 4 different times. And the first 4 pegs here will get twisted. So these 2 will move over to these 2 and vice versa. So you will need to go ahead and make sure that that is nice and loose. If you've already made your 6th row and it wasn't loose enough, you can add in a 7th row. You could even add an 8th row. I actually added 2 more on just to make sure mine was nice and loose. So let's begin on making our twist number 1. On a number 1 twist round, we want to make sure and twist where our cables are going first. So all the areas that have our stitch markers on them of 8 cables are what we work with first. You're just ignoring the sections that don't have it. So we're going to be working with these 8 stitches, which is actually 4 ribs. So each set of 2 stitches are a rib. They represent that. So we're going to take 1 rib and cross it with another set of ribs, and then we do it again. So you're going to want your double knit hook here. This comes in very handy, or you're going to need a cable needle or something to pick them up. So I'm going to scoop these first set up and just lift them up and hold them to the back. Okay. And then I'm going to move the stitches on the right here. So these 2 on the right, we're going to move. You can move them over all the way over, or you can move them and walk them one at a time in case your stitches are a bit tight. If you do find that this first pair that you start moving is really tight, you may want to work a loose round again, because the first 2 stitches shouldn't be tight. It's the second 2 that move from 1 and pegs 1 and 2 over to 3 and 4, which are the ones that can be very tight to work with. So I'm going to take these and stretch them and put them onto the next 2 stitches. Now it only stretches that easy if you've done that row before very loosely. If you find it's too tight, you may need to put them on these 2 pegs first and then kind of walk the stitches over, and then that will work well. Let's do it again. Pick up the first 2 stitches, the next 2 stitches here, which is stitches 5 and 6, and then we're going to move 7 and 8 over. I'm going to move them over one at a time. And then we can put those, this one over here and stretch it, or I'm going to go ahead and try moving this all the way over and maybe a little tight. There we go. And then put these down. Now, if you find that you can't stretch it, you could even pick it up and place it one by one this way. If you find that you can't put them down at the same time, let's see if I can get them down at the same time here. Stretch and pull. Put this first stitch on here. Like that, and then the next stitch like that. And so you can see that those are crossed over and nice and tight. All right, let's continue on. We're skipping those next stitches here. That's the one where we had 3 sets of ribs that were skipped, and we'll pick these first 2 up and hold it in the back, and then move the next 2 over. Okay, I'll move these over, and I'm just going to pick them up one at a time and show you what I mean by placing it on those middle 2. Okay, I split my yarn here, so let me fix it. There we go. Okay, now I'm laying it on this one, and I've got 2 pegs over here, and I'm going to move this one over now that I have a little bit more room to stretch. Pick this up and move it over, and see how it got that stretched out for me. Now I'm going to move over here and do the next set. Pick up pegs 5 and 6, lift it off, and move them over. I like walking them down one at a time. If you're a very loose knitter, you may not have to do that. You could probably just pick them straight up and move them all the way over. Let's move these. And I'm going to have to do them one at a time as well. Okay. And then just move it over. Okay, now I've twisted those stitches, and then we move on to the next section. Go ahead and repeat on the the second, or actually this is the third stitch section over, and then the fourth. And pause your video and meet me back up and we will wrap this row. See you soon. Okay, now that you have finished twisting everything, you need to work your rib stitch. So we're going to do, as we've done before, we go around that first stitch and skip to the third one in the inner loom, and go to the outer loom and go to the third stitch, and then we start working wrapping every other stitch on the front and back. So we just go all the way around making that rib stitch. Pause your video and I'll meet you back to show you the way to wrap the next round. See you soon. All right, we're coming to the end here. We're going to get that last one wrapped, and then we're going to go around to the second stitch or second peg on the outer loom and go up to the second one on the inner loom. And so you'll see that the last stitch, or the first stitch and the second stitch, are wrapped consecutively, just as we've done on the brim, and then come around and pick up every other stitch that you missed the first time around. And one thing to know that you have twisted these correctly is you'll see that these stitches look like little ribs where you've got two of them that are in pairs next to each other being twisted together. And so all those stitches will get twisted there. Okay, well, no, they're not twisted, but they're like paired up. All right, so continue going around and meet me back up when you have completed wrapping, and I'll give you the rest of the instructions. See you soon. Okay, we've completed that going around twice, and now we're going to work all the stitches on the inner loom first, because we want the outside to be the most loose. So go ahead and work on the inside, hook over that last stitch, and go all the way around, knitting over. And pause your video and I'll meet back up and give you the instructions for the remaining part. See you soon. Once you've hooked over the inner loom, you want to continue with the outer loom. I've actually already done that, so pause your video if you need to. And then we're going to complete 3 more rounds of the rib stitch. Go ahead and click off on your row counter or your pattern that you're ready for row 7. That you've completed row 7, and work 3 more ribbed rounds, just continuing to wrap as we have. So the secret to success here is everything is a ribbed row, and just on those specific rows you'll be working a number 1 twist or a number 2 twist. So pause your video, make your 3 ribs, and I'll meet you back up when you've completed those 3 rounds. See you soon. We've just completed a round 10, and we're working on twist number 2, round 11, and we've got them all worked over now, and we want to move across these stitches here, but we're going to work with 3 and 4 picking up first. So we pick those up with our double hook, and then we start walking our stitches over from 1 and 2 over to 3 and 4. And I find that this one's a little easier to move over, so I just move it straight over all the way, and then I go and place these. Here we go. Nice and tight, and you can see that twisted. So you're going to do the next one again. You're going to pick up the last of your ribs here and walk these over, or go directly across. And then pick these stitches up and place them. And this one is a little tighter, so I'm just alternating how I'm placing it to get a little bit more slack or length in there. There we go. And remember to work loose. I'm a very tight knitter, so it's just, that's how it is for me. So make sure you're not pulling it too much so you're going to break your pegs, but you can work them. Just make sure that the round before is very loose. And I'm going to move on to the next one. Do the same thing. Actually, in this circumstance, I waited to knit over this section so that I could make sure it was as loose as possible. So I'm going to hook these over. And I've left the stitches next to it down here unworked as well. We're just going to pick these up. So pick up 3 and 4, We're repeating this again so you can see it. Move 1 and 2 all the way over. And this is going to make a twist to the right, and I will show you what that looks like. Oops. Didn't mean to drop that stitch there. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Turning it over, and so now you can see that, now I went ahead and did a round of both so that you can see them. So what we're working on up here is going to make this direction here. So it twists this direction. So see, it's going over to the right. So before it leaned to the left, and now it's leaning to the right. All right, so you're going to continue working around this way and then wrap it in a rib and knit over, and then you're going to make 3 more rounds in the rib stitch. Once you work your 8 rounds, just continue repeating until you get all the beautiful cables that you need and the length that you want. I hope you enjoyed making this pattern and this stitch technique. And if you enjoyed this, be sure and give us a comment and tag us on social media to show us your hat or your design that you made with this cable stitch technique. Thank you again to KB Looms for providing the loom and this beautiful new pattern and the Peyton's yarn. We really appreciate it, and I know our viewers do as well. Click subscribe and hit the alert button for more videos to come. On behalf of KB Looms and GoodKnit Kisses, I'm your host Kristen, wishing you happy loom knitting. Bye-bye.